think I have this going. Oops. Hi. All right. So today we are going to be talking about lunches in quarantine, lunches while we are in quarantine, because I have found that strangely, lunches during quarantine has been just a different experience than it usually is. Typically for my lunch, if it's a normal work week where I'm working from home, I'll just throw together a salad or a sandwich or something like that. And I have done that on the occasion in quarantine. This video keeps skipping. I don't know what is going on. I hope if you're having a hard time with this, I can't see comments. This is the new this is the new Facebook producer, so hopefully it's not skipping for you as much as it is for me. So I'm still getting kind of used to this technology here. But let's talk lunches in quarantine. If it keeps skipping, I'll just redo the video and I'll do it another time and I'll throw it up on my page. But so let's talk. So typically I have, something simple that I throw together, or I might eat leftovers or something like that. And that's something that I've done in quarantine as well. But just like everything while we've been in whatever you want to call it, shelter in place, lockdown, quarantine, stay at home orders, etc., whatever it is to you, whatever this time period is to you, everything winds up feeling kind of like Groundhog Day. Like we're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And lunches have started to feel like that as well. I am getting a little bit bored of just throwing together a sandwich or trying to scrounge for leftovers. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a project with work. Sometimes I've got kids who are banging on my door or, on my lap at 11 a.m. trying to figure out trying to ask me for snacks, basically, which is like their life's work, it feels like, is obtaining more snacks. But when it comes to lunch, it feels a little bit different lately, only because I am getting very bored with it. And so I wanted to talk with you about ways to overcome lunchtime boredom in quarantine and options that you can have. We've been talking about this a little bit in my meal planning classes, which are every Sunday Eastern time from 3 to 4 p.m. I would love for you to join. If you want more information, just pop into the comments and I'll send you the Zoom link. It's $11 to join into the class, and we hang out, we drink wine, we make some stuff. We meal prep for dinners for the week. But in the process of that, it also means that we've got really easy stuff to have for lunch. Almost everything that I make in my own kitchen is always with an idea to have it later on for lunch. And dealing with this kind of quarantine boredom, the quarantine Groundhog Day, essentially, that we've been doing, the daily routine of breakfast and then lunch and then dinner and then cleanup and the thousands of snacks for all the children at all times of the day, always until the end of time. It's just kind of getting old. So these are the things that I do I'm just gonna grab my notes here real quick. These are the things that I do to not have these lunches be so boring. So the first thing is I'll stick with a snack, like a snack plate, basically. That's probably my most favorite one, is that nobody actually has to worry about what they're going to eating. I don't have to make anything for the kids. I don't have to worry about anything, pulling out, reheating, making sandwiches, doing the cleanup and all that kind of stuff. We'll take on the kitchen counter, lay out a huge tray of snacks, snacky things, hummus, protein, lunch meat, nuts, and then cheese and fruit and veggies and ranch dip, and tell everybody to go to town. This kind of goes along with what I talked about last week, or maybe it was the week before, about DIY dinner bars, getting picky kids to eat their dinner. This is a really good thing if you're struggling with picky kids to eat their lunch as well, to eat anything. These dinner bars, feed your own self, figure it out on your own kind of situations also work great for lunch. And they lend themselves really well to lunch items like that lunch meat or nuts or cheese or fruit. Just cut up everything, put it in little bowls or trays on the counter, let everyone fill up their own plate. It's the same concept that we would do at dinner. This is something that we can put together in a meal prep class if people have more interest in it, if it's something that you want to feel like you want to do in one of my meal prep classes. Like I said, every Sunday from 3 to 4. Well, we're meal prepping mainly dinners, and we talk about sides and we talk about meal prep storage and ideas and freezers and thawing and all of that kind of stuff. But if there's a lot of interest, I am more than happy to help us have a meal prep lunch period as well, where we're prepping a whole bunch of lunches that would go together. Yeah, I just feel like that sort of thing gives everybody the autonomy to figure out their own situation, which takes the pressure off you as the parent getting everybody fed, and it puts that autonomy back onto the kids so that they can be deciding what they're eating. Now, of course, there's the issue of, you've always got some kids who are going to only eat a whole bunch of slices of boiled ham lunch meat for lunch, and that might not be what you want, or you might just not care. Sometimes I'm just like, here's what we've got. Pick what you want. I'm going to go back to work, and please, everybody stay quiet while I'm on my next conference call, and don't run around screaming behind me, which is something that they just ignore. The other option that I'll do for quarantine lunches also goes kind of hand in hand with that short list that I've talked about for quick dinners. A lot of these same ideas translate into lunch or breakfast as well. Keeping a short list of ideas of favorite lunches that you guys enjoy, maybe tack it up on the fridge so that you've always got it there. You can add that snack to it. You can make a quick quiche on a Sunday, and then that's an easy thing that you can eat for the rest of the week. Here's a quick sandwich idea that everyone likes. But keeping that short list that you can glance at can save you a lot of time and just make it easier to jog your memory almost about stuff that you want to eat for lunch, So the short list option, I'll keep that kind of stuff in an Evernote file that goes along with the whole 5-minute meal plan that I teach, which you can find out more information for that. This is another thing that I need to tell everybody. I've renamed my group. It used to be called Meal Planning Junkies, which didn't really fit as much of what I do with Percolate Kitchen. It's now called The Weeknight Kitchen is the Facebook group. And I'll put the link in here. Everything that I talk about in these videos will be shared in The Weeknight Kitchen. So if you want to grab the link for the 5-minute meal plan, if you want to find out more information about my meal prep classes, all that kind of stuff gets shared in the Weeknight Kitchen from now on. So that's the Facebook group. If you want to join it, I would love to have you there. You can pop in. It's just some easy questions to access. And then I share everything. And there's always a big conversations happening in there. Like one really great conversation that we had in the Weeknight Kitchen recently in the Facebook group was we were sharing kind of like end of the road pantry meal ideas. So if you have, say a big freaking bag of lentils that has been staring at you in your pantry since the beginning of time, and you don't know what the hell to do with that, people were sharing their kind of like, I'm sick of looking at this ingredient, and everyone else was chiming in with recipe ideas and stuff that they've done with it and stuff and things like that. So it's a really collaborative kind of group in that way. So it's called the Weeknight Kitchen, new Facebook group. Just renamed it from Meal Planning Junkies, and I'll put that link here in the comments. And again, we also do a lot of the meal prep classes. I'll share the meal prep links and all of that kind of stuff in the group. Anyway, getting back to what we do for quarantine lunches, for getting just kind of not so freaking bored all the time with what we're doing with quarantine lunches and this Groundhog Day that we exist in now, quarantine, shelter in place, et cetera, et cetera. The last thing I'll do is along the same lines of dump dinners, where you're making it easy on yourself. You're just dumping stuff into something else. So prep up items like rice or a chicken salad or a tuna salad, things that you can keep that whole mentality of a dump dinner, which is essentially, where you're prepping everything in one big bag or bowl or container that you can dump into a crock pot, dump onto a sheet pan, dump into a stovetop for dinner. That same mentality also works for lunch, making ahead of time the chicken salad, the tuna salad, or whatever, or buying the pre-made packages of it at the grocery store, because no shame, no hate when it comes from me. I live for the pre-made deli area of the grocery store. And grabbing those kind of options so that you can just slap it onto a sandwich, you can slap it on top of a salad. It's just keeping things easy. This goes back to just doing a little bit of work at the outset to save you a lot more time at the end. It's this process of just setting up some sort of a system that works for you, that is really easy to follow, that continues to make things easy for you at the end. That's the biggest ethos. If I can impart anything from Percolate Kitchen or the Weeknight Kitchen or anything, it's that a streamlined, simple, easy to follow system will save you 10 times the amount of time at the end of it. So putting in a small amount of work here saves a lot of amount of work down the road. And that whole idea goes along with meal prepping and with getting good quarantine lunches going and all of that sort of thing. So to recap real quick, these are the 3 things that I would recommend as far as making lunch not such a Groundhog Day experience in shelter in place, quarantine, lockdown, whatever we're calling this time of our lives. So number 1, the snack plate mentality, the kind of like DIY dinner thing where you're just laying out options for everybody on the counter, pulling it out of your fridge, you're using up those leftovers, and then everyone can kind of like feed themselves. That also kind of keeps things a little bit interesting. You're not preparing all these lunches again. Number 2 is doing the short list version, which I talk about a lot in the 5-minute meal plan tutorial, like my mini prep class. Using that short list in your Evernote file or sticking it up on the fridge so that you can just be like, I don't know what to eat today. And you can see this short list of quick and easy lunch ideas that you like to have on hand. Tuna salads, pita lunches, etc. And then the third thing is using that dump dinner mentality, prepping stuff beforehand, doing a little bit of work at the start of the week so that you could save yourself time later on in the week, because that's how we kind of survive. And now that we're all living in this never ending, every day's the same, getting through it kind of a thing, it's that whole concept that I talked about previously where you would think that this would be easy, right? That we're all home all the time. We have all this time to cook, and that we're all together as a family and we're just getting big things of groceries and everybody's baking bread and making sourdough. But in reality, sometimes it feels like none of this is getting easier. And I understand how that feels and how frustrating that is. And so that's why I talk so much about the meal prep, the doing the small amount of work on one day so that it gets easier later on down the road. So I am going to go downstairs and eat some leftovers for lunch. We're doing the snack plate thing downstairs. So if I catch everyone downstairs eating, I will snap a quick photo and show you what I mean. I'll throw it up in the comments. And again, I'm going to stick in the comments the link to join the Weeknight Kitchen, which is where everybody's sharing all of their favorite super easy ideas. It's a very collaborative group. I love it deeply. So I would love to have you in it if you are not there already. And other than that, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your lunch. I'd love to know what you're eating and what your favorite stuff to have is. And yeah, hang in there, everybody. We're getting through this one more day at a time.